Today, I think.
Whoa.
It's gonna be 37 here tomorrow or something. So.
Wow. We have frost. We've had like around 0 for a couple of weeks now. It's quite funny. I read something this morning about the polar vortex or something like that. It's because in Greenland they have sort of a heat wave, a heat wave for polar areas, which is significantly above 0, and they haven't gotten the same amount of snow as they normally have. So and here in Germany we don't have much snow, but it's cold.
Oh yeah. I think I'd prefer it cold than hot. Which is quite funny because as I travel in hot areas mostly.
But you have spent some time in colder areas, haven't you? So
yes, most definitely. So it's okay. Like I've said before, I don't mind the cool. I just don't like taking things on and off all the time.
You get used to that. I mean, I still remember you and your family coming to Munich with those beanies.
Yeah, the beanies. Yeah, I've still got them. With the pom-poms, yeah,
exactly.
I've still got my Munich one, actually, so probably from that trip, actually, yeah. Actually, one of the pom-poms fell off, but I've only got one left.
Okay, yeah. Well, you make sure to wear if you come in winter the next time. But I hope you don't. I hope you come in late summer, so we could, we could go to the Oktoberfest. That would be...
That would be nice, eh?
The perfect seat. It can be cold. Actually, I don't know if I told you this story before, but we've got good friends, and one of one of them he's working with the Hofbräu in the Hofbräu tent, and he says, we've had all kinds of weather. He's been there for 35 years. And he said, we've got all kinds of weather throughout the years. We've really had snowstorm, heat waves, anything. End of September it is, early October. So, anything can happen.
Mixed bag. Yeah, mixed bag, isn't it?
A mixed bag, yeah, truly is. Yes. So, to the listener, you are listening to Southern Summers and Northern Winters. I am Anders, and I'm sitting here in Munich, and in the other end is Mark, way down south.
Way down south in Australia, aren't
In Australia, yeah. So, how are things in Australia? How are you holding up?
Yeah, not too bad. A little bit going on. My daughter's back from China, so...
how is Willow?
A bit of a... Good. Threw a bit of a chaos into the house at present, but seems to be going well. She's actually not even staying here right at this minute because the Chinese family that she lived with, they came out and they're staying with another Chinese lady that they know in sales. So Willow's sort of bunking in with them, but she's back and forth all the time, every day at this stage here, trying to unpack her life from China out of 4 suitcases into her bedroom, so and sort of set herself up a little bit for that.
And she left with how many suitcases?
She had about 4. So,
but when she left for China from Australia,
no, when she left here, she had 1 and a carry-on, and she came back with like 3 large ones and a carry-on. So. So, yeah, luckily, like Chinese airlines are pretty generous with their luggage. A lot of them allow you to have 2 by 23 kilo suitcases because Chinese are always taking heaps of stuff. Like come to Australia, they bring boxes of, stuff for family and things like that. So they had a pretty generous luggage allowance, which was luckily for her because her mother was there. So her mother used the extra suitcase that she had on her allowance and things like that. So she's been back since last Sunday week. So, Sunday, not Sunday gone, but the Sunday beforehand. So, so she's slowly settling in. She seems to be anyway. Kids, they're tell you a tiny bit. There's a lot to tell, but they give you just a small amount of information, don't they, these days? So that's how it goes. But yeah, I don't know. I think she starts her online university in March, I think. So she said, and
okay,
her old boss from here, who worked when she worked in the Chinese restaurants, teeing her up a job somewhere else in Sale at a restaurant. So, Sale's a small town, about bigger town than Mafra, but about 20 kilometres away from here.
Okay.
So, so she might get a job there in a Vietnamese kitchen, restaurant. So,
okay,
which is good because she'll need some money. Dad's generosity only goes so far sometimes before he to get out and start making your own money.
That's you don't do your kids any favors if you at that age, if you still subsidize anything they do. It's just not
at all
sustainable.
Funny. She rings me up the other night and she's like, "Oh, I just recharged my mobile, but I think it's been charged to you." And I'm like, she's like, "Oh, but I'll pay you back." So she comes in next day and I said, "You sent me back that money?" She's like, "Oh no, I had to spend it on something else. Like, I'll pay back." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." And I'd only recharged her mobile like 4 days beforehand, but where she's staying at this other house, they don't have any Wi-Fi, so she's burning through all her data, watching movies on Netflix and things like that on her tablet.
So let's just quickly touch base on that, because mobile packages, data packages, are quite the thing when you travel a lot. Yes. I mean, here in Germany, you obviously when you're at home, you automatically connect to your Wi-Fi system at home, and we literally have unlimited amounts of data. I don't know if that's is that a case in Australia as well, because when I was there 10, 12 years ago, you still had a limit on your house Wi-Fi.
No, I don't think so. It depends. Maybe some plans do. I think we pay about $99 Australian. So what's that? 50 euro. I think that's unlimited. Unlimited data.
So that's about the same here. 50, about 50 euros. And we don't even think about it. It's just
you just use it, pay it. So I don't know if Australia's got the fastest internet in the world, but I don't have any issues buffering. But when I read articles, they reckon Australia's network speeds are quite slow compared to some places in the world. But for what I do, it's fast enough. I think I can get a faster one, costs you more money. Like they have a few different tiers of what you want in speed, I guess, for what price you're willing to pay. So yeah.
So what's your experience when traveling? I mean, because I constantly get these, probably because of what I do and what we talk about here, I get these advertisements from VPN packages and eSIM and all these providers. Yeah. What's your experience? Is any of that valid? Is it legit?
Well, interesting. I generally don't use a VPN. The only time I ever use a VPN is in China, and that's not really for safety. That's just to get around the Great Chinese Firewall, which blocks Google and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and everything else in China. But funnily, we're talking about this actually. For the first time, I actually used an eSIM the other week in Bali. I'd never used one beforehand. I'd always been a hard SIM type of person. I normally purchase SIMs on eBay before we go. Like there's a couple of shops that they're Australian shops that sell. You can get maybe 20 gig of data or 30 gig of data over 20 days for, $20 or $30 Australian. And that generally covers you. And like a lot of them, I've never looked for Europe, to be honest, but like for Asia, you'll get ones that cover, multiple countries. Like, there might be 3 or 4 countries that it'll work in, because probably the same telcos, run on networks across Asia. So I normally do it that way. And in Bali, there's a guy, like everything in Bali, there's a guy I've used before, and he will just, once you land, you just give him a ring, and he comes around to your motel or your hotel or your resort and puts the SIM in for you and takes a photo of your passport, and away he goes. So,
okay.
Which I quite like because I don't really like hassling at the airport and standing around after I've arrived. I want to get out of the airport because I've been in the airport. So there's a guy in Bali called Andy Awesome. Yeah. Andy Awesome, that's his name. Yeah. And, so he just comes around to your hotel with a SIM card. I think it was like 28 gig, costs about $20 Australian, so about 10 euros, and hooks you up, puts it in. Yeah, like I said, they've got to take a photo of your passport because it's, they've got to record some sort of data since all that changed, and and away you go. But this time I thought I was only in Bali for, I think, four full days, so I was like, this is a really good time to try this eSIM stuff out. Have you ever used an eSIM?
Yeah, my main telephone line is an eSIM on my mobile, and then I have a hard SIM for I still have a Danish number as well, which I never use really. I keep it for, because sometimes I have a Danish bank as well, and sometimes when I do stuff there, they need to send me a text, a PIN. Yeah. And that goes to a Danish number. So basically, for daily purposes, even when I'm in Denmark on holiday, I use the German eSIM, because here in the EU, it's just, doesn't really matter. It's just...
No. Well, I assume I could get an eSIM to use day to day in my phone, like from the teleco I use, but I've had the same teleco for, I don't know, 5-6 years, so I've still just got the same SIM in each time, but I'd never actually used one overseas, so I sort of did a bit of browsing and downloaded one from this company called Saley, and I actually set it up. I actually set it up in Malaysia a few days earlier before I got to Bali. I bought one there for this 1 gig just to make sure I had the settings down on how it works properly, because I wanted to be able to arrive in Bali, obviously, and just flick it on and have it work. So, and which it did work. It worked pretty well. I think I would say that they're probably cost prohibitive if you were traveling long term. I think on some of the plans, like if you're a heavy data user, they definitely are. Like I think in Bali we got 5 gig, which was $20 Australian, whereas I could have got 28 gig on a hard SIM for $20. So so there's a bit of difference in the pricing through the eSIM, definitely, and that price seemed pretty standard because I checked it against I think it's Holofly or something like that, or Air Arlo I think is another big company. So I checked a couple of them just to make sure the pricing, and they all seemed fairly standard on about 5 gig for $20 in Bali. So like I said, and I went through that 5 gig in the 5 days I was there. Like it ran out actually at the airport. So, but I see that if you want like 30 days and you wanted, say, 20 gig, it was like $60 Australian, which is, 30 euros or something for 60 days. So if you were traveling long term and you were a data user, I wouldn't think that it would be economical to be using
that's when it starts to sound a little expensive. Because I mean, I remember back in the day when we would travel the world, we had the website 3 on the go, and we would do a blog and a little bit of video and some pictures. And back in those days, you really had very little data there, and so on any campsite you could log into the Wi-Fi, but you would buy a package and you would be
back in that days.
you would be extremely limited. So that was the thing. Well, it turned into a bit of a sport to sort of find out where how you could hack these things, and not hack them per se, but how you could maximize the investment that you got. So you would really use up to
Most
the
definitely.
very limit.
I think a lot of the issue is too with using an eSIM or another SIM. you've got to always be on the ball and remember to switch them off when you've got Wi-Fi. And you know, I'm not always on the ball and remember. So you know, you end up using when you could be using your free Wi-Fi at your hotel or your resort. You're still using your data a lot, like because you just don't think about it. Because at home, it doesn't really matter whether I'm sort of on Wi-Fi or data because my phone plan gives me like, I don't know, 65 gig a month or something like that on my phone as well.
Yeah.
So I don't regularly switch between them sometimes unless I think about it, unless one of them's slow, and then I go, oh, maybe I'll just try the Wi-Fi or, you know, or the hard SIM just to see whether, you know, something's up. But yeah, so I think that's one thing you really need to be onto overseas when you're using data is to make sure that you're switching it off when you can get that free Wi-Fi to work.
Yeah, well, it comes actually automatically here at home. It switches onto the Wi-Fi, and if it doesn't, then there are certain apps that I cannot use. There are certain, you know, house lamps and stuff that I can't control unless I'm in the Wi-Fi. Yeah. So that's when I need to switch on the Wi-Fi.
Switch on. Yeah. Definitely.
Have you sometimes sometimes when going through the city, it will for some reason. Like 10 years ago, I logged into a public Munich Wi-Fi system, you know, something that the city provides still to this day. But I never used it. And for some reason, when I'm in the city, it still, you know, goes on to that Wi-Fi system.
Goes on to that.
So nothing works unless I completely shut off Wi-Fi. It's just, yeah. And then I forget
crazy,
when I get home,
like,
you know, so...
So look, I think I'll probably use the eSIMs again, but maybe I think I'll probably still go for hard SIMs with the large amounts of data. But I think it would be handy to have like maybe 1 gig of eSIM data for when you first land, just in case you need to get a cab or a Grab or an Uber or you know, something like that, or you need directions, you know, straight up. So I think they're really really handy for that initial landing period, probably. But like I said, if you're not a heavy user of data and you think 5 gig could, you know, last you 20 days or something, well, you know, they're probably good value. But for me, I need a little bit more at a little bit less, if you know what I mean. A little bit more data, a little bit less dollars, I think, at that rate. So,
but you know, you and I are content creators, so I mean, we you know, for work, it's simply just it's just it's just the way it is, you know. So so
most definitely.
How
actually, it was a good. Sorry.
I was going to ask you. Speaking of content, were you able to do some updates on Bali?
I will be doing some. I have made a few more. Took enough footage to make a few more videos, but luckily I've got enough. I'm about 10 videos up at the moment, so I've got a fair bit of content in the pipeline. So, which is good because I like having a few. I've got about four completed that are scheduled, and I've got about 6 in the works. So I've got a lot of content going on with video at the moment, which is good. Actually, I've got a video coming out on how to use an eSIM for the first time.
Oh, there you go.
Funnily enough. But yeah, so it was quite good. I actually passed me 4,000 hours on YouTube to monetize the second channel. I haven't quite got enough subscribers. I'm only up to about 800. I need 1,000 before Google will start putting ads on it. So that was that's been a good bonus. Or not a good bonus, but just actually I'm pretty happy about it in reality, because when I got the first channel over the line, I'd paid a lot. I hadn't paid a lot. I shouldn't say that. I had paid for advertising for YouTube to boost it and things like that. You know, so I probably hadn't spent that much money. I probably spent maybe $200 or $300 to get over the line over a 3 or 4 month period, which was about $20 a week or something like that. I was boosting for, and this one I haven't boosted it. I haven't even shared it on Wild Family Travel. I've sort of kept it totally separate to try and find its own sort of organic audience without without trying to drag an audience to it, which is what I think I learned off paying for YouTube to boost it last time. Like, it shows it to a lot of people, but a lot of these people may not be actually interested in it. So it's sort of, it'll get your views up and it may even get your subscribers up, but they're not likely people who are going to come back to it or be interested in it. I think Google just, just shares it out. And, so I think if you can get people to come to it organically, then you sort of know that they're interested in it. You're more likely to hold them as a subscriber or possibly a watcher going down the path further on. So that's sort of what I've hoped will happen and hope will continue to happen. YouTube's a bit of a journey though, and
it is. And I'm just thinking about, because when you say this about, subscribing and following and watching, yes, we all want all of that, but I can only say from my own experience as a YouTube user, not a content creator, but on the user side, I'm subscribing to quite a bit, and how can you ever find the time to follow all the new videos coming? It's just
that's right.
It's just sometimes I unsubscribe simply because either I've moved on or I'm just not at the headspace at the moment, and my sort of my feed clutters. There's just too many new videos from. So I said I can't go through all that. I need like a 10 or 15 channels that okay.
Yeah, I hear. So and I guess there's no real guarantee that people will continue to come back and watch even if they do subscribe. In reality, like I have a lot of people that only watch one topic on the channel, which is videos about barley. And the other stuff seems to get left behind quite a lot. But I will persist because I don't really want just a channel about barley, obviously. But that's where all the views are coming. But
eventually you will have like something going organic or going wild on a topic that you didn't expect, and then there you have another audience, and so.
And you don't really know, do you? Like I keep trying to make different movies. I made a video today. I reviewed a bus station that we're in Malaysia. Like if you need to catch a bus there, so I was like, well, I'll just film it and give it a crack and we'll put it out and see what happens. I think that's what you got to do. You just keep trying different things, different reviews. You're like, because you never actually know what people may find interesting or may need.
That's true.
For me, it's one of them things. If you're in a foreign country and you roll up at a foreign bus station, that's a fairly decent sized bus station. This one was. It was handling 60,000 passengers a day.
Wow, yeah.
It was quite busy when we got there. So, and I think, for me anyway, I always feel nervous and anxious when I go to like bus stations or possibly airports I've never been to, and you don't actually know where your boarding gate is or where to actually go and things like that. So I sort of don't mind making that sort of video if it can help someone who can watch it before they get there and go, okay, that looks, now I've seen that. I know that it's not that hard. I just walk in and, I go downstairs and, I can't actually go to my bus bay until 30 minutes before I leave. And, this is what's in the place. There's, shopping and supermarket.
As soon as you have the overview of, an airport or bus station, then you can sort of relax and say, okay, now I can. It's the same with me, when we go somewhere, it's just like, I need to know the lay of the land, so to speak, and then I can focus on drinks and food and everything before we embark.
Yeah, definitely. Big bus stations are obviously much like airports. You walk in and they have a departures board, and and once I see that, and I can work out, where it's going. The problem was at this bus station there was about 15 different buses all leaving to the same destination within half an hour of each other. So I was sort of a little bit, like, hey, okay, this is my bus line. And I guess you not to be afraid to ask people. That's the bottom line, I guess. And we asked one bloke, and he said, "Yeah, just go downstairs." And away you go. And I went up to the lady at the turnstile, and she said, "Yeah, okay, come back in half an hour because you can't go through there until another 30 minutes." And so that was fine. So I walked around the terminal for 12 minutes and made a video, and went, okay, well, maybe this will work, maybe it won't work, but I've got videos on that channel that have had 100 views, and I've got ones that have had 10,000 views. So, like I said, you just keep trying and see what works.
And even because I subscribe to a couple of YouTubers that they talk a lot about music production and specific software called Logic Pro, and which I also use. And there are some that are better at explaining various topics than others. So you can actually have, because maybe your channel or your way of showing stuff will hit someone more positively than others. So it's really it's all chemistry as well. Being affable.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It's got to be relatable, I think, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's really hard. I think these days with YouTube, I don't know whether you need to be too polished or you need to be under polished these days, if you know what I mean. Because because everyone's polished, and that sort of gives across maybe a feeling that it's more fake sometimes if it's too polished. Like like you're not a Lonely Planet guide or something like that. Like, let's be honest, they're there for a reason. Like, so how polished do you want to be? Like, I was watching some videos about like using AI to give you the background behind you, to make it look like you're in an office and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, it looks nice, but it's not really what I want to portray. Is that I'm sitting in a business sort of type office making movies. It's probably not the target that I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for travelers, couples between say 40 and 60 who want to travel, who maybe have traveled a little bit. That's the sort of market that I'm trying to chase. Like,
so you'd probably rather have like a more relaxed background,
Yeah, that's it.
Some
and that's
palm trees. That's
what you sort of want. You don't want to be. I don't think you want to seem too professional, because I think in today's point of view, if you seem too professional, you can sometimes seem fake or dodgy.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It feels like you're trying to sell them something. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really here to help them. You're really here to make money and sell courses and all that sort of rubbish.
Absolutely.
And I see enough of that. I see enough of that on Facebook and on the internet about blogging. Oh, take my SEO course and I'll help you do this and help you do that. And you've got no idea, bro. You can't help them because Google changes their algorithm and no one knows their algorithm. So all you're doing is conning people by telling them stuff that anyone can find by watching a dozen videos on YouTube, and you're trying to flog them for $1,000 because you're going to tell them that you can make them a world traveler, and they can live off this and live off that. Well, if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, wouldn't they? Yeah. So, you know what I mean? There's so much fake courses out there that can be made with ChatGPT in like an hour and things like that. And there's always someone gullible. Not gullible, I shouldn't say gullible. There's always someone desperate to live the dream that are willing to try anything, you know what I mean? Like to get ahead. And I wouldn't buy any course. I don't think I would buy a course online ever again.
It's same.
I now know that that there's nothing that they can teach you that they've known themselves. They're probably
really not. I agree completely. And it's funny because a couple of things to what you're saying. One of the things is that it's very, very sad that we are so dependent on large tech companies deciding the algorithms entirely. I mean, the entire world economy is tied up to just that. And that's quite frankly disturbing. The next thing I want to say is that in terms of YouTube, what you say about being too polished and stuff, there are two ways, I think, because some of the larger national TV stations or media conglomerates like ABC, or in Denmark DR, or in Germany it's ZDF, or actually they could learn a lot from YouTubers these days because they have way too much time. I mean, I'm listening to a radio, sort of a political talk show or news talk show in the morning. I like to listen to. They have way too much time. They have from 6 to 9 o'clock every morning, and they have guests. And sometimes you can just tell that the interviews are just to fill out space. Where on YouTube it's a lot more compressed, and they cut to the chase, and which I like. On the other hand, on YouTube it can be too polished, as you say. It's just you never really know because YouTube it's always commercialized, and they have an agenda.
Yeah, I was watching something the other day. I follow this channel called vidIQ. They're also a software company that makes YouTube software, that does keyword research and all this sort of stuff like suggest titles and helps you with your descriptions and things like that. And they were saying that now the optimum time for a YouTube video is around 30 minutes. Seems to be what most people are watching because most people are watching YouTube on TV. So it's actually replacing, the traditional sort of half an hour sitcom on TV being replaced with half an hour YouTube videos that people are making. So they reckon that's sort of for a vlogger, or a personal, someone who's just making their own videos about their life or what they do, that sort of thing. 30 minutes is about the sweet spot.
Somewhat long, isn't it? Somewhat long.
It is somewhat long. It depends what you're doing. Like this guy here, his channel was about he goes to Costco and, looks at all the specials and things like that, and so he had a shopping channel where he would go and buy the weekly specials, and I could see 30 minutes is probably well for something possibly like that. Even cooking as well, you could probably get 30 minutes out of a recipe or cooking. I'm not quite sure about travel. I don't know. Look, it depends how broad you are. Like there's a real difference, I guess, like in travel videos, whether you're just going to talk about one thing or one place, or whether you're going to a bus station, or whether you're reviewing a hotel, or whether you're reviewing a restaurant, or whether you're doing sort of like your videos like, okay, this is what I did for today, or this is what I did for my 2 days or my 3 days in Munich. Like then you can certainly stretch, your 30 minutes, probably your 45 minutes. I guess the hard thing is to keep people engaged for 45 minutes on a video like that. I mean, attention spans are relatively short these days, especially on younger people, but I guess if that's not your audience, and older people are. But yeah, I think you got to have something in it that people need, or people, really want to know, to stretch out 45 minutes. Like,
and then what bugs me is that usually they have, it's not the YouTube or Google commercials, it's the in-channel commercials that they themselves, their own sponsors, they spend way too much time talking about those. That's just come on. Yeah.
You know what? When they do that, the only one good thing I'm glad about is sometimes they do their own timeline. Where you go to the bottom and you can go, okay, just move along that section to
it's just
to when they start talking about.
Because I pay, or in our family we pay €25 a month for YouTube Premium. To avoid all the commercials, because otherwise it was literally an unbearable experience. It was literally crap. To be honest, it was just I couldn't use it. It was intolerable. So let's go YouTube Premium. So we use that. And still, my favorite channels, they spend on a 25-minute or 30-minute show, they spend like 2.5 minutes, 10% of the time just talking about their own sponsors. Come on.
I mean, I realise they've got to make money. I'm not quite sure how else they can make money. That's the problem, I guess. I know it's annoying, isn't it? Like, it's annoying for me too, but I guess, if someone said, can you talk about this for a couple of minutes in your video and I'll give you a few $1,000, I'd probably be going, yeah, okay, no problem. I can work that in somewhere. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say how many people would buy from it or how many people just ignore it and fast forward it. Like, once again, I guess it's to do with the buy-in to the person presenting it on that channel. I guess if you're heavily invested in that channel and that blogger or that YouTuber, and they're recommending it, and I guess it's something that you need. Well, you'd be more likely to buy it than, say, me watching a channel for the first time and some guy, talking about an eSIM or travel insurance, because a lot of them talk about eSIMs and VPNs and things like that in the travel sphere.
Yeah, you see a lot of those VPN providers. They sort of you can tell. Okay, now because all of my favorite vloggers they all have the same sort of offer.
That's it. So they're all going out of their way to at the one time, obviously their marketing budget is big at that time of the year, or it's coming up to tax time, and they need to spend their marketing budget, one of the two. So they
true.
So they sort of hit everyone up, don't they, for advertising? But it's a strange one. Like, being a content creator, I can see it. I can see that they have to do it, but I'm not quite sure whether it alienates your audience or not.
Yeah,
but like we said, that depends on how invested you are.
True, it really does, and sometimes sometimes I tolerate those couple of minutes and see what it is they have on offer.
Yeah.
Other times I usually just browse through it and just fast forward 2 minutes.
It's the same as websites, though. Like, when the amount of ads that pop up on some, especially on your mobile, and they cover like 80% of the friggin' screen. You're looking for the little cross in the corner all the time. I'm like, get off!
Yeah, true.
It's not so bad on PC, but on the mobile, it can be a real pain in the ass. Some of them.
Did you say that that YouTube are mostly viewed on television sets now? Because that's actually what we do here as well.
So do I. Yeah, it's replaced the normal TV as the most popular streaming or streaming. The most popular thing to watch now is YouTube on TV.
And you know why? I guess that's because you yourself, the user, decides what to see and when. So that kind of flow TV, as you say, the old-fashioned that just comes at a certain announced time. It's just not the way people watch anymore.
Like in the good old days when you used to open the back page of the newspaper and check out the TV guide used to be inside the back page, so you'd what's on tonight? Okay.
Saturday night at 7. Okay, I have to see that.
That's it. That's it.
The only thing, we just had the Super Bowl, or America had the Super Bowl. That's sort of, I heard somewhere, that's actually where, most people watch normal flow TV, because they very big events. They still, you can draw an audience. We have the Olympics not far away from where I'm sitting here in northern Italy. And and
very little coverage of it. Not much coverage of it here, or it's just not that I got to be honest with you, there probably could be, but I don't watch free-to-air TV, and I don't really watch the news every night. So the only bit I've seen of it, the only bit I've seen of it was on YouTube was Lindsay Vonn breaking her leg going down the hill the other day. And
we actually saw
really
that live.
The only thing I've seen.
By coincidence, we had the TV running at the time. Flow, I think it was Sunday, and we just we didn't really have anything to do, and for some reason, remember the good old days when you could watch like a Wimbledon tennis match and just not really pay attention, it was just running in the background because it was the only thing that was on, so that I sort of grew up with these downhill skiing or alpine skiing, and it's ski jumping or whatever. It goes on for a couple of hours, and it's just kind of relaxing, and you just
ski jumping's good. I like ski jumping. It's quite a good sport to watch. It's quite spectacular, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
So,
better
yeah,
than cricket, because cricket is too slow for me. It's just
better than the Super Bowl, I can tell you that. That is such a drawn out friggin' game. How they like American football is beyond me. Like, how a game can take 3 hours
Yeah.
of
And I read
stop.
Yeah, I heard that 25% of the airtime is commercials. 25%.
Oh, I mean, look, there's a huge audience for it, though. Like, it's the most popular league in the world, the NFL, and it's coming to Australia next year, and they're coming to Melbourne to the MCG, and apparently, like, there's a waiting list already of like 120,000 people on the ticket list. The stadium fits 100,000, so it'll be full to the rafters. San Francisco 49ers and I don't know, San Diego Chargers or someone are coming to play in Melbourne. So it was big news the other day when it was.
Why are they doing that?
announced.
Is it just to make money, just to make creative awareness, or what?
Yeah, I would think so. It's probably good. Probably so. I think they play a game in Germany every year as well, don't
They do, actually, in Munich.
they? Yeah, and they play one in London. I think they said they're playing maybe six destinations around the world every year at the moment. So
yeah.
just, I mean, it's all about awareness, isn't it? I guess creating new audiences, things like that. I mean, the fact that Taylor Swift was dating a player probably did not help him. Certainly didn't hinder him with a younger audience in America.
No.
I'm sure there's a lot of converts to the game. But apparently, I watched YouTube. I was watching a show the other day on the NFL, and by far the most successful and profitable of any sporting league in the world for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't see it. I don't like it. I find it a drag. You know, it sort of sits up there for me with when you watch football for 90 minutes and it's a draw, like it's a 0-0 draw. You know, like, I mean, I like football and I appreciate football, but I don't think there should be a 0-0 draw in any game.
No,
you know, they should go to penalties every game until there's a winner, or keep playing on, because it sort of seems a bit redundant to have no one win and no one score after 90 minutes. It's
I agree with you. That's just. I don't follow any football team or anything. It's just, I mean, from me, living in Munich and with the FC Bayern München, but I just can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered.
Nah. But it's sort of funny. Like, you sort of go, well, you don't really have to be bothered, because they're going to win 9 times out of 10 every season.
That's exactly it. It's not even exciting anymore. It's not even exciting. No.
That's the sort of problem with football, I think, in Europe. Like, there's 2 teams in, maybe Spain that are going to win all the time, either Barcelona or Madrid, or, possibly the other Madrid team occasionally jump up. In Germany, there's going to be Bayern, and occasionally Leverkusen might be good, or, but it's just, the same. France, it's always going to be PSG. Like, they're really just 1 or 2 team leagues. I mean, England, at least England, they might have 4 or 5 that's a possible chance in the Premier League. But, there should be a salary cap, and everyone should just have to be able to spend the same amount of money, and then we would really see who's good and who's bad, and who's a good coach and who's not, and and all these sort of things.
And that's the thing where Munich is actually quite okay, because they still have a very strong club mentality. They sort of breed the talent from the roots and up. There are many of these high-profile clubs in Europe. They are now owned by Saudi families, princes, and they just come in with heaps amounts of money and they buy players. That's not how to grow a sustainable club culture, in my opinion. And I think. And I think Munich still have that. It's sort of they're still kids, all around the neighborhood. They still they play there. So it's and they get good as well. So Yeah.
Oh,
So
you need the pathway.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So we're going to Budapest next week, and we've already started reading the guidebook,
Happy
and
days.
I can see that our eating habits next week will be or our diet will be very much heavy on meat. They eat it,
Goulash.
goulash, but it's more like a
Goulash.
soup. It's more like a soup
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
an actual stew. But
Yeah.
we're very excited about that. And Anton, my son, he's really excited about it. Because he thinks he's growing up a vegetarian or even vegan, but he isn't. We get plenty of meat, but not every day. But yeah, so that's going to be good. And the hot baths and yeah, so it's going to be very, very exciting. It's going to be fun. So
I would think
I'm excited.
so.
I'm excited to share my experiences when we get back.
I'll be looking forward to hearing it.
They don't have the euro, so we're kind of trying to find ways
still
of.
got the
Yeah, they have some.
They still got the Hungarian currency, haven't they?
Yeah, they do, and so we're trying to find ways of on the go, so sort of easily and quick to calculate the prices.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need something in your head. You need something in your head, to on the fly, just to say, okay, this is fair and this is not fair. Yeah.
Is their currency like? It's not like $1 equals or €1 equals like 1,000 or something like that. Is it? Is it like?
Is it? Yeah, there's something like Alex told me yesterday. I already forgot it because it wasn't that easy. If he had said, 1,000 of theirs is equal to 50 cent euro. Okay, then I know. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't that easy.
It's like in Bali, like $100 is like $1 million, and things like that.
Yeah.
Which is quite easy to calculate because it's always sort of been around, one is 10 in Bali for Australia. So in that retrospect, it's quite easy to calculate. But yeah, I can hear it's a bit hard sometimes to calculate it quickly in your head. Like in Malaysia, it was like 2.7 Malaysian to $1 Australian, and I'm like, so $4 is about, so 10 of theirs is about 4 of ours. I think something around there, roughly.
Yeah, but that's sort of you sort of in your mind you established sort of a ground rule. Okay, like you say, that's roughly the ballpark. But I need to get that ground rule. I need to understand that.
Yeah, so, it can be. It can be difficult, can't it? I must admit there is some difficulty, and especially when you go to places I think like Vietnam, and I think $1 Australian worth like 17,000 Vietnamese dong or something like that. So,
yeah, that would sort of. Well, obviously, you would quickly learn because that's what you do. Yeah. But to begin with, that would stress me. So what?
But Italy used to be like that, didn't it? The lira used to be like huge numbers, didn't it? I think
But Italy had their lira, and so what I did back then, living in Denmark, I sort of, I don't know, if it was because we would drive by car through Germany. So first I had to calculate the Danish kroner to German Deutschmarks.
To German. Yeah.
Deutschmarks, and then Austrian shillings, and then Italian lira. So I sort of had the whole thing. So I knew when I got to Italy that 1,000 lira was about 25 Pfennig, Deutschmark Pfennig, a quarter of a Deutschmark. And that would equal a certain amount of kroner in Denmark. So I had that, whole row of calculations, and then I sort of knew, okay, this is about where we are. It all got a lot easier when we all converted to
Yeah.
euros. Denmark still has not gotten onto the euro. Denmark is still krona, but
That's surprising. How many countries do you think there are still in the EU that are not using the euro? Like obviously
Let's
Hungary
say,
and Denmark,
Hungary is one, and Prague is another. The Czech Republic is another one.
I don't think Norway. I don't think they use. I think they use
No,
their
Norway.
own.
Norway is still also krona, but Norwegian
Yeah.
krona. The Swedes have the Swedish krona.
Iceland still have a krona too. I think, as
Yeah, they
far as
do.
I know. But I did see
But
what someone changed the other day. Was it maybe Romania? I think they.
the
I think
Romanians are
I
about to
think they
change.
came on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they did 1st of February or something.
Yeah, I
You're
think so.
right.
I've seen it somewhere, but like a
But
few have changed.
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Norway is not in the EU anyway, and Iceland neither.
Iceland's
I
not in the
don't think
EU. Really?
Norway's not in the EU. No, because of oil. They have too much oil. They make too much money on oil. They don't want to share. I don't know. This
They
is
don't
me
want to give it
talking.
away.
This is
Oh.
just my interpretation. But
No. I agree. Isn't their sovereign wealth fund like one of the biggest in the
yeah,
world? I think. Like,
yeah, they
and
they
how
are the
smart is
rich.
that though?
They
How
are the
smart are
richest.
they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the richest country in the world, and they still have high
yeah,
taxes and high
yeah.
cost of living. And I read somewhere they could actually stop personal income taxes for 10 years and still have be well off. So
Unbelievable, isn't it?
yeah. So
But it's
and
smart. I think that's so smart though. Like if Australia should have done that years ago. All we do is sell all our resources to everyone, and yet the government's still got no frigging money, they reckon. So,
yeah.
like.
And we talked about Greenland recently. Greenland because Greenland is a part of Denmark, the Kingdom of
Yeah.
Denmark, and the Kingdom of Denmark is part of EU. Greenland used to be part of the EU, but they left some 30 years ago.
Okay.
And that was because of the fishing quotas that they were allowed to land
Yeah.
within the EU measures. So they said, no, we'll just resign from the EU and do what we want to do with the fishing industry here. And they're entitled to do so. That's actually a good example of, because people talk about Greenland and Denmark and say, Denmark should and could decide anything.
Yeah.
No, we don't want that. And the EU is a good example that Greenland actually decided to leave. So yeah.
Is the EU a good thing, do you think? Like, or would countries be better off being separate?
I mean, yeah. For us, mostly the EU, and you can see with the UK, I don't think any politician will say it out loud. But yeah, they sort of regret that they ever left. I mean, because they're worse off.
They called their voters bluff and
they are
called the
worse
public's
off.
bluff and then got killed for it, didn't they?
They are worse off. They have a ridiculous amount of bureaucracy, administration. It's just gotten.
Australia.
It's a nightmare for business owners. But that's what they wanted to do, and I think they were told that it would solve all the problems because the UK still have these imperialistic dreams. They haven't forgotten about the British Empire. But it's just not how the world looks today. And so, it's, in answer to your question, I'd say that the EU is a good thing. And particularly at the moment with oppression from Russia and we don't know where we got the US. And so we have to stand together. For many, many years, we've been very slow to unionize within the EU in terms of military, but that's changing now. There will be an EU military, and
it should be. One thing I don't understand is why America is the one trying to solve the war in Ukraine, and why isn't Europe trying to solve the war in Ukraine?
Yeah. I was just debating
I
this.
don't know. That's just what it looks like from the outside. Like, that's what you hear, you know. America are mediating it. They do this. So, but why isn't Europe doing it? Like, you know, they're back out.
America is mediating it because America can, and they have huge interest in keeping the war going, I guess, because there's the weapons industry is huge. Also, you know, in Europe, we use our tax dollars, our tax money, you know, to pay for welfare, for infrastructure, schools, hospitals, and stuff like that. In the U.S., they use their tax dollars to fund the military, so they can, you know, they can do this. They can help out Ukraine if they wanted to, but they don't because they have an interest in keeping the war going. So it's about how the way you see it. It's, you know, the terms that they use. So. But, you know, given some time, I guess the EU will you know, sort of step up and help out Ukraine and make, because we also need to make sure we can withstand the pressure from Putin. You know, So
well, that's true, but is he really? Is it just self-perceived pressure? Like, Russia doesn't seem to have. The way I look at it, if they can't beat Ukraine in 3 years, like, are they really a threat to? Are they really a threat to anyone? Realistically,
not really. Not really. But the problem is Putin. He can't stand a defeat. He won't. So he'd probably rather throw the atomic bomb than get defeated, and that's what makes him dangerous.
Yeah, I guess you're right in that retrospect, because you know, from the outside you would go, well, if Russia's such a superpower, surely they should have had this thing wrapped up in about 6 months. Like,
absolutely, that's what they thought they would have. You know, that's it.
It should have been done, dusted, and out of the way, and they should have, you know, been occupying Ukraine, I guess, or should have, you know, remade it part of Russia or whatever they wanted to do with it, and life would have went on to happy days and happy ways. But
but no, that's not how it went on, and it's just where it is right now. That's, I think, the only thing. There will be some sort of, okay, this is where we can not agree, but this is where, you know, things fall, and okay, let's just move on. And then the locals, probably, I guess, in the local districts where they're fighting around, I guess they will come to some sort of agreement or, you know, means about their daily lives, so that, you know, people living, you know, near the border, they can sort of, you know, move around. I don't know, but it's just but that's probably what will happen. And because Putin can't. I mean, if he loses, he will. His ego can't stand that.
No, he will.
So it's nice. We have chances. We have China, we have North Korea, we have Russia, we have America. In Brazil, it's also sort of strange what's going on there, and Argentina, and So, oh man,
it's a world, isn't it?
It is, and yet we still travel the world. It's just we need to. We must. In order to better understand. In order to better understand, we have to move around and see the world for ourselves, not just believe what we see in the media. That's just a very narrow side of. Yeah, no, that's not how it works. Okay, Mark, let's wrap it up. It's about an hour now, and
no worries.
Yeah, we should maybe we should have Willow on, talk about her, because it's been a while.
Yeah, we can. We'll get her back on in a couple of weeks when she's back here permanently, and I know that she will actually be here. So next week you're away, is that right?
Next week I'm away, so let's do it in a couple of weeks' time, and I can share some insights about Budapest, and then let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll get her back on. Yeah. No, right. Okay.
You take care.
You and your family have a great trip to Budapest, right?
Thank you very much. Say hi to the family. Bye.
I will. Okay. Cheers, buddy. See ya.
Bye.